I think the situation is critical right now, and whereas before you might have thought, well, I need to be in my classroom, I need to be with my students, someone else will take care of this. I think we all need to make sure our voices are heard collectively because it's so critical and it's immediate.
To talk to some representatives to see can we make a difference in our school systems, to see whether or not they can just bend over backwards and see how we feel about the situation with the school, with the ripping and all the laying off and all the freezes that they want to do, and they want to take away everything but don't want to give up anything.
The cuts, the drastic cuts that were made last year, and hopefully, you know, the same thing won't happen this year.
And those cuts, what kind of effect did they have on your school?
A great compact, because there was like 72 people that were released, and in our co-ops we have children that need changing, diaper changing, tube feedings, and all of this, and we don't have enough hands with that many people, you know, being ripped.
And so it doesn't just affect the employees.
It also affects the children.
I think it's important that the legislature, they know our voice, they hear our voice, they see us together as a group, that just randomly hear about this district and that district. They see us as a power. We commit to our job every day. We get up, we go to school, we work hard. Why shouldn't we be entitled to that when we're done? We've been planning on it since we started. You know, you make a plan for your life, then all of a sudden, you know, I mean, I've got like 10 more years to go, and now I've got to rethink what am I going to do with my finances if they change this. People who are starting out, why are we going to attract good people into education if they know there's not any kind of future for them? You know, I think it's important to keep their promise and make it a good career that people are going to want to stick with. It's our future. It always will.
Because I came last year and was just stunned by the amount of people rallying for one cause. It feels great to know that other people share your passion for some given cause, and that we all band together as educators to create a better future for us. And one of the things that we are most interested in is that a lot of what they're talking about now is pensions and retirement, and a lot of these teachers have been in the profession for so long, but we also have to think about what about the people who are coming into the profession like us.
Volunteers, we need 180 of them for every. Please talk about this today, push them, talk to your friends, talk to your colleagues, make those phone calls. We need your help. I am so proud to become president of this organization in July. I cannot do this alone. All of us must stick together. All of us must speak up, because this is our profession and this is our future. So you go get it.
How y'all doing?
Oh, how are you?
What's your name?
I'm Helene Moore. How are you?
Glad to meet you. John Cavaletto.
Joyce Sequence.
Glad to meet you. But I'm not going to give on my pensions no more.
Thank
So
you.
if you can see the tone of my voice, I'll stand up on the House floor. I will not vote for the budget if they do that.
I know, and when you met
Now,
Mount Vernon, you also said that, and I said
will
I've
not-
always
I will not
supported you
vote
on that.
to touch your pensions. Now, the new pensions, whatever they come up with, the people who start teaching again, and they're going to divide this thing up, I want to look at it, see what it says. They got to go to 67. I didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for that bill either. It's not a good bill.
How does one go from, say, competent or satisfactory, or maybe even excellent in year 2, back to incompetent, back to proficient, back to incompetent again? That's a wide swath, and I think that goes to what she's saying about administrators.
I think a teacher can be satisfactory and then needs improvement, and then have needs improvement and be unsatisfactory. I think there's a lot of room. What it's saying is that if 2 times in that period of 7 years you're unsatisfactory, that there can be action taken. How can you do that? I think teachers, administrators, anyone else could be satisfactory 1 year and need improvement the next. How? Because of their performance.
So long as that result is the remediation that teacher needs and not a summary. See ya, thanks.
No, it's not. There's all kinds of remediation.
The bill that passed the Senate was sort of negotiated by all parties and agreed to by all parties as it passed the Senate. And the question I was going to ask Roger, I think I know the answer to, but it's safe to say I would think these folks would want to see that pass in its original form as opposed to reopening it and starting a whole new conversation on it in the House. Would that be a fair
Well, I think so. I think all groups support it, but I don't think that it may pass as is. I think the Speaker's office has some concerns with parts of the bill, and he may be changing some of it, and your folks will be there then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the state will still be putting their 6.2, or
the state. So if we figure out there are going to be 3 options, there's the tier 1. If you want to stay in it, we think it's going to be in the lower teen range. Ultimately, you have the option to go to tier 2. You have the option to go to a 401 type plan where the state will pay 6% and you would pay 6%. Might be something that a newer teacher might have some interest in. But people living longer skew this thing, and we've never adjusted that. And so these pension systems were put in place for, you retired at 60 and you died at 67, and it worked. I mean, now, it's all good we're living longer, but the fact that we're living longer, we haven't adjusted what we're paying. And so that's a factor, along with not paying. And the fact that we have enhanced benefits over the years that we haven't